And we can just shoot the breeze until we get Spike Vegeta in here.
I'm fine with that. Will we end up talking about pretzels?
We're most likely
maybe
going to
some,
be talking about pretzels until you get
maybe some like
oh,
little Debbie cakes.
Bone Sauce. Oh, your mom retweeted us. Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, she got a
definitely
following, so we'll have all of her supporters in there too.
Yeah, Bone Mom's great.
I'm following her. Don't have her follow me. My timeline's terrible. It is not family friendly. It's not family friendly.
It's okay. She's anything but family friendly. It's fine.
Oh, then she could totally follow me then.
No, I don't want to hear your voices. Wait, Bonesaw, when did you get back from Japan?
I got back last week. Shit, when did I get back? I think it was Tuesday.
Oh man, that's
last week Tuesday.
Got back.
Okay. Boom.
I just like
All right,
how...
let's talk about Patty's chair.
It's
actually no.
let's
talk about the soundproofing on the back and the artful contrast that he's designed back there. And like a pixely wave of sadness and darkness. It matches with his bed.
Yeah, he's got a nice matching bed. The picture in the
picture
top there is blue.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Are those feet or legs?
Mm.
Are they trees?
They could be. They could be two blue legs.
Could be.
What?
It's a blue man.
He is a blue man.
A blue stick man.
A very blue stick man. Maybe. Just maybe.
But then, is the black like the dark room that he's standing in?
The black is the void that he wants to avoid.
I can agree on that. But he's inside of it. It's like a metaphor for life.
Trying to pull the blue end together, but the void is just making that non-existent. Oh, there's Bone Shot. there's Spike Vegeta.
Whoa.
Also,
he's big and pixelated.
D, you're locked on to Patty right now, so that's why we're just getting Patty's chair.
Hey, I'm okay with the chair. I have no objections against the chair. Does anyone else object against the chair?
It's going to be far less annoying than the dude sitting in it, so I'm cool with it.
Oh,
looks like it has a mouth.
It does look like it has a mouth. Okay, I can't unsee that now.
Yeah, all I see is a mouth.
I see glasses, big nose, and mouth.
Like some teeth, some bottom teeth.
Yeah, he's got the goofy teeth.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he's like his teeth are chattering a little bit.
Okay, all right. Spike Vegeta, before we begin the show, soft pretzels or hard pretzels? Go.
Oh shit.
I like crunchy. I'm gonna go hard pretzels.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh my god, it is 3-2 right now.
That is
all right.
That's not
okay. All right, follow up on that question though.
Well, yeah.
Pretzels.
What
would you consider the most godlike type of pretzel?
Type of pretzel? Oh, I don't know if I know enough about. Okay, wait, actually, I overall prefer hard pretzels, but I do like pretzel bites.
Ooh.
Like you go to like an Auntie Ames or
Auntie Ames is going in again, baby.
Ames. Yeah. Those soft ones, like the marinara sauce.
See, soft pretzels. He said soft.
Yeah,
soft pretzels.
Yes. I was but overall, I like crunchy things, so I would take just like a plain old boring bag of little baby pretzels. I would do those.
I think we all would, but I think all of us, other than Prem, are in agreement that soft pretzels are the godlike pretzel.
I'm not. I agree. I'm just saying. Of the hard pretzels, what's the best hard pretzel?
Best hard pretzel is the candy coated hard pretzels.
You scared me, Patrick.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
I'm sorry.
You got a nice head.
I do have a nice head.
All right. Now that we're all here,
All right. So,
let's get the
you want to know what else was nice? Your chair was nice, but also It is nice that we are here again for another episode of Mind Games. This time, more of the Speedrun special. If you were here with us 2 weeks ago, we did have Patty on here. I misspelled his name, and he thought I sounded like a hooker, but it was okay because it was a great time. But this time, we have Patty back with Bonesaw and Spike Vegeta. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good night.
I don't.
It's gonna be a fun one.
I knew it. That's how proud he is.
It's going to be amazing. Also, I have no idea how to unlock people on Google Hangouts, so I'm just going to be clicking on people at random.
Just tap their.
Oh my god, when I tapped it, it showed you with your eyes rolled in the back of your head. It was amazing. So, let's do the run through of how we always do like this episodes. Like every time in the beginning, if you guys have been following our Anchor FM, Mind Games SSB. So basically what we do is, Mind Games is pretty much like a late night talk show where we have an outlet for discussion, all types of mental illness, from depression, anger, frustration, like your experiences in life as a gamer and everything. And we just go deep into it. We also have like a nice little fun time, how we were just talking about pretzels and everything too. So we like to mix it up between like heavy topics and light topics and all of that. So we're going to begin it as well. Let me turn down this music. Also, shout outs to Insane in the Rain Music with this Me Channel remix that they got, this jazzy remix. Shout outs to all of them. Make sure you guys follow them out there. I'll post a link in the chat right now for you guys. But let's jump right into this. Prem, since you had most of these questions, actually, let me get this started off. So we already got with Patty. Patty, if he wants to revise on this question, he can. But I'm going to ask for Bonesaw and Spike Vegeta. What exactly got you guys involved in speed gaming?
Yeah. Who's going first? Spike, you go first.
Yeah, I'm an old boy. Yeah, I was into speedrunning actually as a kid. I remember I was kind of one of those grew up. I didn't have a lot of video games. I remember we had like 3. So I just played those a lot over and over again. And, it's not like games today where there's the 100% something, you're playing this game for like 300 hours, play this game for like 6, and you've pretty much done everything. So I remember with games like Donkey Kong Country and Mega Man X as a kid, there was a clock that was just over my parents' wall over the TV we had. And I said, okay, I guess I'm going to speed run it. I didn't know what it was called at the time, but I'm just going to try to go as fast. Let me just see how fast I can beat it. And, it's able to beat Mega Man X in 50 minutes. Could do Donkey Kong Country in like an hour. It was pretty dope. And then so I always grew up thinking all right, this is a very I'm the only nerd in the world who can do this sort of. And I remember in 2004, I was a subscriber to Electronic Gaming Monthly, and it had this 1-page article. I swear I'm the only person in the world who knows about this article. People on back in the speedrun community in the day didn't know this existed. It had just a little 1-page thing to talk about speedrunners and this website called Speed Demos Archive. And you could learn how to beat Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past in 2 hours. Whoa, crazy. Metroid Prime in an hour and 40 minutes. So I found that website. Submitted runs to there for years and years, saw the website grow from when I first got there were 13 games on the website to now I think there's thousands.
Oh yeah.
2011 started going to the Games Done Quick events and everything, and it's kind of just taken off since then. I don't know. I guess I've kind of been into speedrunning most of my life technically. So it's cool to see that many more people are now into it.
Awesome. What were the 3 games though?
It was those 2 in Super Mario World. That was actually the one that I didn't speedrun out of the 3. So
of all the ones to just say it's nah, I'm not gonna speedrun this one.
Nah, man. I don't know. I like moving. I guess Diddy Kong and Mega Man X a little bit better than Mario at the time, even though I've done a lot more Mario in my life since then. So
that's fair. Bonesaw, same question.
Well, just kind of piggybacking off of what Spike said, we have kind of a rule in the collective, and that's never to speedrun a Mario game. So I'm really proud of you, Spike.
Thanks, baby.
Never move
I might have broke
Mario.
that many times afterwards.
Okay,
But
that's an actual rule.
Yeah.
Never
Yep.
move
Never.
a Mario.
Never move a Mario.
Okay, on light of that, Prem over here, Estarion, said I should do a sub goal and speedrun Super Mario Odyssey. So I'm
Never
pretty
speedrun
glad you guys just told me this golden rule because
That's only if you're in our friend group. So it's just if you want to do it, you just can't be friends with us. That's it.
so he
be
tried to
friends with myself.
sabotage the friendship before it even started.
Again, good call.
Your life just got better on so many different levels. So you're good.
All right, but
Cleaner, a lot
Bonesaw,
cleaner.
if you want to finish up, my bad. I didn't want to cut you off on that.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah, when I was a kid, I actually got like all of my systems from my older brothers and my sister because they were they were quite into games when they were kids, and of course they were 80s kids. So I got like the Famicom, I got the Super Famicom, and then I played them like religiously every day. And I still remember getting Super Mario World for the first time, and that was the game that got me into video games. And when I first saw speedrunning, when a friend of mine actually he had a Twitch account, or was it like Justin TV at the time?
It was Justin TV.
Yeah, it was probably
2000.
Yeah, it was probably a Justin TV account. It was like, it was kind of Twitch existed, but he was on Justin TV, and we went on there one time, and I saw there was somebody speedrunning Ocarina of Time, but I can't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Demon, way back in the day, way back, and I saw the timer, and I asked all those questions that you always get in a Twitch chat, and it was like, what does PB mean? What does WR mean? I have no idea what this is. This is so crazy. Like, why is there a timer? And yeah, exactly. And
I was the same way. I was like, what the hell's a golden split? I'm like, what are they talking about?
yeah, and I saw all this, and I was blown away.
I don't even know when I finally learned what a golden split was.
No, the thing about golden splits that confused me was the person I was watching on Justin TV didn't have his split color golden when it was a golden split. It was like a lighter blue or green, so it just confused it confused me for the longest time when people were saying, oh my god, that's a golden, and all I see is like a teal. I'm like, wait, what?
I love those rebels who throw curveballs at you. A golden split is like red. A bad split is green.
Yeah, I'm just like,
oh my god.
Splits don't matter. Just watch
the problems with technology today, man, is you have the ability to just screw with so many people. What does the plus mean? I thought pluses were good, and that was the question that I had. Is like, isn't a plus good? And my
there was like a plus
no,
or a minus
idiot,
and stuff. It was like, no.
Good.
It's like, no, it's negative. I lost time. Stupid.
No, stupid. It's bad.
Shout outs to Worcester for yelling at me one day.
It's
that.
like golf, dumbass.
It's like golf.
What the that's actually true.
Who told you it's
I
like
mean,
golf?
it is true.
It is true because you don't want to have a plus in golf. You want to have a negative.
Technically true.
But yeah, that's how I got into it. And then ever since I watched my friend do it, I was like, okay, I'm doing it, and here we are.
Yeah.
Bones, are you
yeah.
the fourth child?
Yes.
Okay. And you have two older brothers and an older sister?
Yes.
We are exactly the same. Sorry, you can go on with the podcast.
Wait,
I wanted to make clear.
I'm the fourth
I
child.
feel so much more connected to you.
I'm the
now,
fourth child,
and so,
too.
So
You're the fourth child as well? Do you have two older brothers and an older sister?
Yes.
Oh,
Whoa!
all our parents got together and had a conference.
They really did. They're like, hey, we need to do this.
Our
First one to
fourth
break-
kids are gonna be
First one to break this rule is no longer a friend.
So wait,
wow.
okay, I guess done.
The
Patty,
fact is now.
Patty, do you got any siblings?
No, he
I
doesn't. He's an
only
idiot.
I'm stupid, therefore I have no siblings. That's how it works.
That's how
if
it
you're
works.
stupid, you don't have siblings.
One. We're cutting it off in one.
Oh God, this baby's stupid. No
How
more.
could you?
No more. I
I
can't
swear
take,
to God,
I
you
can't take
get dumber and dumber the more I talk to you, idiot.
Actually, I'm eating smart today.
What are you eating?
What are you?
Patrick?
You were eating pretzels, idiot.
That was pretzels with protein-packed peanut butter inside of them.
Oh my God.
I had one serving, and then
Whatever.
I made current popcorn with olive oil. Just straight up kernels with olive oil and a little bit of sea salt on there. Ooh.
Some kind of tree hugger or some shit. Jesus.
I did hug a tree earlier this morning. His name was Franklin.
Unbelievable.
It spoke to me, but I told it I couldn't go on a murder spree today.
His name isn't even Steve. I can't believe it. Steve is a tree name.
Franklin's a good tree name.
Franklin is the name of a turtle.
What?
Can we please? Can you
I knew what he was talking about. I knew what he was talking about. Nick Jr.
Give me another question,
Well, no,
please.
no.
Actually, don't give me a question. Just give me all
letting
this.
the roll, dude.
We were letting this go. Well, you guys kind of answered the next question, or like your first games or favorite games, but
You kind of answered the next question, which was, how stupid are you? Well, pretty stupid.
all right. This one's for Spike. All right. This is a wordy one. This is a wordy one from yours truly.
You're giving Spike the wordy question?
Yeah, he gets the wordy question.
Oh no,
This is gonna be rough.
So
this is such a bad idea.
So
I
yeah,
can't
this one
believe-
this one is full of 6-syllable words.
Yeah.
It's just 6-syllable words.
Wow, that's way too many.
Oh, no,
dude, man, I'm like Rocky, dude. I'm like Rocky Balboa. I can only say like 2 or 3 at a time. So it's kind of hard. Okay. All right. So Spike, you become one of the most recognizable faces. I'm just kidding. Voices and heads of the hair in speedrunning. This is not my question, by the way. This is Prem's question, and this is his wording. When you got started, did you imagine that your role would become so pivotal and speedrunning would explode into the powerhouse that it is today?
Gosh. I mean, here's always what I've said about speedrunning. At the end of the day, it has fed off the fire that is nostalgia. You go on YouTube and you look at some of the big YouTube personalities in terms of gaming, and a lot of it is retro gaming. It's just looking back and saying like, oh yeah, let's reminisce about that stuff we played in the 80s and the 90s. And that's a lot of what speedrunning grew out of. So I always said that on top of, I remember I had friends, no longer, that,
I'm sorry. Phone saw like fell.
No, I flipped around.
But then after they watched a run or two, they realized, oh, all speedrunning really is people being really, really good at the given video game. So if you see someone speedrun The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, that means they're really, really good at The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So all this hype we've had around esports over the last decade or so, as they've grown with FGC, stuff like League of Legends, the various, CSGO, all that stuff, StarCraft, is that, you're getting to watch people be the very best at these games. And now we're going to take that and apply it to, for a lot of people, what those solo experiences were. Your Marios, your Zeldas, your Mega Mans, all that stuff. And then it also can take it, and we found in recent years, it also can evolve into taking that solo gaming experience and turning it into a multiplayer experience through the ability that people can race one another through various games. People have found different little fun variations on it, like playing bingo with the games. This might be going over some people's heads. I know the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past randomizer has been fun, where it takes all the items in the game and it mixes up where everything is, and then 2 players or multiple players just go out into the world and see what they can find, see who can beat the game first. People have found so many creative ways to take these games that should have been, like what I said, when I was a kid, they were little 6-hour experiences, and you can get thousands of hours out of them. So I'm personally not surprised that it blew up. Maybe I'm a little surprised it's blown up as much as it was, but I don't know. I just always thought it was an appealing thing if you just get it out to enough eyeballs, enough earlobes, that enough people have kind of jumped on it. As for me being such a big part of it, I've always loved speedrunning. I really have. I mean, I guess I said it, as a kid, I was already doing it. And as soon as I found out it was a thing on Speed Demo's Archive back in 2004, I have been passionate about it and applied myself to it. I worked in theater growing up all my life, so I knew I had something to provide in the way of commentary for things. So, I mean, I have a lot of confidence in myself. Am I surprised we're at this point? I'm flattered, probably more than anything else. But I think there's a lot of other voices out there that I consider more entertaining or even better than myself, or at least different enough to where other people would prefer other things, other voices out there. So I hope more and more names become more and more established as speedrunning grows even bigger.
Care to name drop some of them?
When we were hold 1 second.
Okay.
When we were at PAX, we were in the back of a panel. Spike and I were among a few other friends as well, and we were just talking kind of quietly. And someone got up from their seat a few rows up, came back, and said, "Are you Spike Vegeta? I heard you." Like, they heard his voice, and it was enough to make them get up out of their chair, walk to the back of the room, and ask him if he was Spike. It wasn't even like, "You're Spike." It was like, "Are you Spike Vegeta?" So when this guy's sitting here saying, "Oh, there are other voices that are more different, and people would prefer that," no. This guy's being modest. It's from like halfway up the room, even people were like, "Damn, that's Spike. That's Spike."
I mean,
on my YouTube's plug out of the wall. Yeah, they knew they were this
birthday. On my birthday, Spike was running he was doing one of his 312 races, and so I like tuned in, and someone in chat was like, "All right, I need whoever tells me the thing they love the most about Spike gets a gift sub." And my answer was like, "Yeah, some people will say his hair, but no, the answer is that sultry, sexy voice." I got a gift sub. Oh, I got a great gift sub. That was a very satisfying. I was like, I go to sleep to that voice.
Did I give it to you?
That voice.
How?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Someone else did. Okay.
Wait. So I don't remember who it was in your chat, but someone gifted me a sub for the month, and it was because I made a very convincing argument that your voice was. Oh shit! ESPN.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. Y'all know the 2018 NFL preseason schedule released? Oh, wow. Let me turn that off. You're right.
I mean, to be fair, pretty much every
so
episode,
iconic.
I just get nonstop NBA updates. So.
Oh, are you an NBA fan? Where are you from?
I'm from Illinois, so like I grew up watching the Bulls, but I got to move to the Bay Area in 2011. And back then, the Warriors were absolute ass, and so I get to see.
So you got in before it was.
Yeah, I got to see the Warriors play for like $50. They're like, "Oh yeah, you want to see the Warriors? You have $50? All right, let's go." So I got to be a Warriors fan. I'm a lifelong Bulls fan. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, that's basketball.
That's
sports
cool.
balls.
Sports ball, good stuff.
Sports balls is always good stuff.
So, I love the fact that gaming has gotten big enough at this point to where you can reasonably have a sports ball conversation with a lot of people in the gaming community. It's not just this weird like, "Oh, you know what they do in that?" I'm glad speedrunning is kind of or speedrunning, just gaming in general has expanded enough to where you can
actually talk sports.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose him?
Fine. You said nice things about me. I appreciate that.
Oh, jeez. Ivan's back.
What?
Okay. We have a question from the chat.
I wanted to continue. Yeah, I wanted to continue quickly on the kind of growth of speed gaming. Like, were there any moments that you were just like, "Holy shit, that just happened in our community"? Like, even with everything leading up to that, I would have never imagined we would have this benchmark or hit this goal.
Anyone can answer this one.
$1 million AGDQ.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was probably the proudest moment for me in speed gaming.
I just said how like I knew speedrunning could grow to probably it's always like I knew it could get this big. I just didn't know it would happen this fast necessarily. So you look at like GDQs, how in 2010 they raised $10,000 in Mikuyama's mother's basement, and then only 4 years later that became $1 million. Like that's if you're crunching numbers, if you're a mathematician, like that's absolutely insane growth. The year prior, we raised like 400,000. So to see that all of a sudden jump to $1 million, it kind of spoke to one, how big speedrunning was, and also just how big we had made our community, because that's a lot of very generous people that we had come on. A lot of different, streamers, speedrunners coming there, and then getting their followings to come with them to donate all that money. It was $1 million was definitely like, oh, that's. I know it's just a number at the end of the day, but seeing that, like, no matter what, that puts you on the map. I guarantee you there were a lot more articles and stuff written that day. We were more newsworthy that, oh, this little weird group of gamers raised $1 million for a charity. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
And then how it became
Bunch
almost this
of weirdos.
Trying to think if there's another moment to point out. I mean, the $1 million is definitely a big one. I remember $2 million was a big thing.
I was going to ask about 2 million, because that was during that Undertale run, right?
Yes.
The first time you guys hit.
God, that was a good
how
run.
much money did that run raise?
Oh, just by itself.
Like, I felt like there was.
It was earlier that day.
Yeah, it was a lot.
We hit $1 million. It was earlier that day. I was on the couch. It was during Wind Waker HD, and everyone was like, "Yay, we got to $1 million again! Cool!" And then Undertale rolled around, and we have the ticker down on the bottom of the screen, and it's just non-stop, just rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. They had a big prize. It was a Bandai Namco pack. I don't know. There was a bunch of really, really good stuff in it. And it was like a minimum like $75 donation. And you received $75, $75, $75. And multiply that by a couple of thousand people in the chat. It was like we raised over $1 million in one day. We went from being proud that we raised it in a week to we raised it in a day. It was pretty nuts.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I was thinking, because I vaguely remembered, like, upwards of, like, $700,000 to $800,000 in the span of Undertale alone, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's
unreal.
And it's multiple factors for sure. I mean, Undertale, that was how big of a hit. I've still never played it, so I can't say too much on it. But like, that was how big of a if nothing else. Like, you can't even say cult following. Like,
it's the greatest game of all time.
It is the greatest game of all time.
To a GameFAQs 2017 poll with roughly not enough people participating.
Patrick, you like that game, don't you?
I love that game. It's my favorite game ever, and I couldn't be happier that everyone that loves that game has a GameFAQs poll from 2017 to cite how their favorite game is the best game of all time, officially without debate. It's the best. My favorite.
You should totally play that game, Spike Vegeta.
I'll get around to it. If it's the greatest game of all time, I feel like I'm not even a gamer.
It's the greatest game of all time.
According to a GameFAQs.
Do you know how many different type of endings you can do?
It is the greatest game of all time.
I didn't know people use GameFAQs anymore. I haven't been to that one.
They don't. That's the point.
If I can bring up another moment that's not just that, because I mean the charity's awesome, but also just watching speedrunning grow in general. Another big moment for me, Bonesaw, you were in the room during it, AGDQ 2014, the Super Metroid 4-way race, for multiple reasons. So it was one of the first times they'd ever done they had technically done one before this, but this was really the big one. If you ask people a trivia question, they'll get that went wrong. This 4-way race of Super Metroid between good friends Zost, Garrison, Ivan, and Krauser. It was really ambitious at the time. The Zost Destroyer himself, Ivan. The four of them on stream, four of the best players in the world at the game. It's an absolutely brutal game. It actually killed off one of the 4 runs. Garrison was not able to finish because the game is that brutal. They're going through on like minimum health and everything. And it was big to me for a number of reasons. Number one, the race came down to 2 seconds. It was this like back and forth the whole time. Ivan barely steps on the ship. Wasn't even 2 seconds. It was like he touched and then Zost right after got on the ship himself. There were just big moments all over the place, swings and who was ahead. Really tense moments. 2, you had amazing commentary from 2 other of our good friends, Golden and Sinister One, who had this like very almost like mini esports style commentary, where the runners couldn't hear them. They were off in the back of the room. They were mic'd up. They're kind of watching their own feed of it and giving their commentary on, all right, here's the next thing coming up. You could tell the both of them had it very planned out where it was going, which was something you didn't see as much in speedrunning at the time, even in couch commentary from GDQs. And third, the room was absolutely packed. Bonesaw was like ripping off his shirt.
Yeah,
when Ivan won the
Ivan
game.
just said that Bonesaw came up and hugged him from behind, and for some reason he didn't have a shirt on.
You could tell the room was really passionate about it. This seemingly like silly thing where you can't even really affect the other players in any way. But there was like, it felt the closest.
It's all mind games, man.
Yes, it is. Like he's like, oh, he missed the baby Metroid skip. Now it's like, oh no, I didn't get it either. Okay, well, I remember Ivan saying that was the thing. But so seeing like all that come together, it was the first time where I felt like, oh, this is almost like a professional. It feels, because I'm a big sports fan. It felt like a sporting event all of a sudden, and to see how that's evolved.
I mean,
into like all the tournaments and everything. Go ahead, Bonesaw.
Wait, what? No, I'm good.
Oh, I thought you said something. I'm sorry. I was talking. I was in my own head. Sorry.
He was going into his own fantasy. He was ready to go.
For D and I, like we both know the Smash scene better than the speedrunning scene, and
Sure.
like going to Smash tournaments feels like going to a small sporting event because those people go fucking nuts.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
About as bad, but
Depends on the
separate
MC.
story entirely.
Depends on the MC. Like literally, there could be some spots where like the whole crowd is just dead and like they don't even respond to the MC who's trying to hype them up. And then there you got some other people that are like and like bringing up everybody and everything. So like we got like if Plup's up there, you got to make sure you got to hype up Plup, like Plup, like get the whole Plup club going.
Sure.
Mango's whole Mango Nation. I can even get people to cheer for Hungry Box. So that's kind of the crazy part too. So
That's a feat.
it is a feat.
You get a trophy, dude. You got it.
I get trophy of the year for that. But no. But yeah, it's but when I'm watching like a lot of races too, like during like Awesome Game Done Quick or Summer Game Done Quick, and I'm literally like I could be at work, and if I see someone that I know that's speedrunning it and stuff, I start getting hyped up, especially if they're winning in a race. I've literally told customers to be like, hold on, I gotta see this part real quick. Like it was
for just a few minutes.
They're like, hey, can I get? I'm like, hold on. Do you see who's on stream right now? Like, do you know what's going on? It's like you're buying the game that they're running right now. Like, I'm like, just watch what they're about to do. And then
I'm about to say, you get them to watch it as well.
Yeah, I get them to watch, and they're like,
there
wait,
you go.
they're like, wait,
That's
what's going on?
what-
It's like this is a speed run. They go for like $1 million in donations towards charity and everything. It's fucking hype. I'll be like, it's going all crazy and everything. And then like once everything ends, I'm like, okay, so your total's like 2107.
Gotta give them a discount at that point, man. They watched through a whole run.
Oh, I discounted them. I'm just like, all right.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, all right, you stuck with me. It's like you get 10% off of it. But let me get Crystal Genesis question from way back. I don't know if they're still in here, but I hope so. This is for Spike and Bonesaw because Pat, you already answered this already. So get Bonesaw to answer first because he hasn't talked in a while. So I'm gonna click on Bonesaw. Yeah, smile. All right, so it's a previous question from 2 weeks ago. What was your reaction when people tell you that you inspired them to start streaming?
Whoa. Really?
I mean, yo,
I am sorry.
Bonesaw, I fucking started streaming for you. Or I started speedrunning for you.
It's the best reaction.
Thanks for watching.
No, you already got the answer.
You already got the answer. You're like, whoa.
Bullshit to try.
Really?
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Really?
Right.
Boom!
There you
Bonesaw,
go.
ladies and gentlemen.
That's my
Like I
answer.
told Patty last week, in my mind it was, if these goofy motherfuckers can run this game fast, I can too, and I'm gonna do it.
I love Patty's answer because he didn't know there was also a podcast, so he just straight up just gives a thumbs up. So there was like an awkward silence for a bit. I'm like, he gives a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, oh yeah, thumbs up. Spike video, the same question.
My bad.
So the exact question is, what's your response when people have said you inspired me to get into speedrunning?
Yeah.
Woo! I mean, my bullshit answer is always like, "Oh, I am sorry. You should watch more people."
It's like, you fool.
My actual answer I give people is just, that's awesome. It's cool to hear that. I mean, I'm more so, I don't take it as too much of an ego trip so much as just like, that's cool that that's one more person into speedrunning. Like to see the community grow. You know, it's because you get a lot of people come up and say, "Oh, I love watching you do it." You know, it's another thing entirely to me, another level when someone says, "I got into doing it myself." Like, oh man, yeah, I learned how to, get 16 star in Super Mario 64, or I speedrun Donkey Kong Country now because of you, and like that. Like that's one of the best compliments I think you can get as. I know this might sound stupid to some people, as an artist in whatever field you're in, because I do think it's some part art.
To be honest, you almost got me to start speedrun Rayman Legends.
Woo! All right, do it.
Like, I love Rayman, and I love when you were doing it with the co-op.
Yeah.
I was pushing Rayman Legends that year to a bunch of people at the game store. Whenever you had I'm like, buy this. I'm like, why? Because when someone was like, I'm looking for a phone, I'm like, Rayman Legends. I don't have a PS with Rayman Legends.
Rayman Legends.
You find something to play.
Like, you will buy this system, and you will get this Rayman Legends.
That game's so freaking good. That game needs more people running it. But
it's got it's got Black Betty in it.
It does, dude. On that grounds alone, those music levels are so good.
It's the greatest It's the greatest mix of it.
I think I tried that game over at Jordan's house when we were all over there in the summer that one time.
Oh, you did play it? I'm sorry you played it in such an isolation. You gotta do it yourself, by yourself. You gotta have a nice experience with that game. It's not very long. It's chill.
You gotta play it to enjoy it, and then once you enjoy it, speedrun the hell out of it.
Then you flip right over and say, "Oh, moving Rayman's really fun. That's cool."
You break that shit. Okay, let's keep going with the questions. Prem, you got any questions you want to go for?
Yeah. So the theme of the show is always kind of like the mental side of it. So, what are your guys' experiences with mental health and mental illness, both inside and out of speedrunning?
Who's going first?
Oh, I got a long answer. You go first.
Hey, who's
Spike, you go
Bonso?
first.
Spike, go first.
Well, I mean, for me personally, I feel like the biggest mental health hurdle that you always have to get over is just the thought process that you are not good enough. I don't deal with like personal mental health issues, like real stuff. But I have had to deal with, like, I used to be a host on a YouTube series years ago. And I remember my boss at the time for the series, he said, "Oh, I want you to read the comments section so you can get better." This was early. He didn't know how YouTube comment sections really worked. He just started the show. And I was like, well, they all say I suck, and I'm worse than the guy who went first. Because I was the replacement host after someone had already been the host for like 18 months before that. So, but you got to accept, if you're going to be a personality on the internet, you have to accept that not everyone's going to like you. To this day, if I'm up there on a GDQ stage, I know way in the back of my head, it's gotten further in the back of my head where it's like holding on to like locks of my afro at that point. Like, there are a lot of people who are like, damn it, I do not want Spike to cheat on screen right now. His voice is really That's cool you guys said nice things about my voice, because there are a lot of people who think my voice sucks and is super irritating. But I have to accept that I can't fix that. I can't, I'm going to be who I am. Some people are going to like it, others are not. And I have to make sure I'm making myself happy.
Hey, Spike.
That's always what I tell myself. Go ahead, Bonesaw.
I have a question for you.
All right.
On your YouTube, do you have at least one video where all of the comments are amazingly negative, but every other video that you have, every comment is super positive and everybody loves it?
Oh God,
That sounds like a goal. That sounds like a goal to have. Like
because
an
I
achievement as well.
have one of those, and it's a
really?
speed run of 007 on the N64.
Oh,
And
no.
for some reason, every single other YouTube video that I have gets positive comments, except this 007 video where they literally just tell me to kill myself every single time.
What did you
Why, was
do?
you looking at the ground, or
It wasn't even
What
that.
the
man.
hell?
I was
What
just
did you
playing-
do?
I don't know. They just hate this video of me like playing 007.
Maybe they
Like,
just hate the
everybody hates
game
it.
and they just hate anyone that plays it.
right?
Yeah.
Damn, this generation not understanding the struggle of Odd Job and shit.
I love that
He's
it's
so
that
short.
game. I love that it's that game and not a different game.
It's
know
not
that.
even GoldenEye.
What? Maybe
No,
that's
it's
it.
The World Is Not Enough.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh,
That's probably why
I
everybody
can
hates it.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, now this all makes more sense.
It doesn't, but
You said
Okay.
007. My brain went the 007.
The
the
007.
devil, the
Yeah.
devil 07.
You- I-
All right, Bonesaw, can you answer the question though?
Well, what am I answering?
Bram, repeat the question.
Please.
personal experiences with mental illness and kind of dealing with it in both in and out of speedrunning.
Well, kind of going off what Spike said, I find personally that I definitely have a problem with. I go into a run, and like I don't know, I don't do practice hardly at all for any of my speed games. I just do runs over and over again. I hardly ever practice because I practice, I get something right, and it's really good, and then I get it wrong a few times, and then I immediately say to myself, well, I suck at this, and I couldn't possibly, I don't understand any of this shit. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? And sorry, I swear a lot, and I apologize, but
No,
we
this is
get
fine.
it.
This is not a PG-13 stream.
But yeah, I so I don't do practice, and I find that my runs really suffer because I don't do any practice, because I'm in that sort of headspace where if I'm practicing and I just keep getting stuff wrong, then why even bother? I might as well just do a run and it doesn't matter. So then I do a run, and I go into a run with really high expectations, and then of course I do something wrong, and then I immediately think, well, what the hell? Like, what am I doing wrong? And then I just say that I suck a whole bunch of times, and then like I don't want to play it anymore. And that's generally that's definitely the part that's really hard for me right now. I did have there was in my very first year of college, I was still in first place for Luigi's Mansion, I believe it was. But a whole bunch of people were like creeping up on my time and everything. And that was the very first time that it had ever given me like anxiety to the point where I couldn't sleep at night, because I had the record for so long that I was just like, well, I can't let anybody else take it, or else I'm just a failure, you know? So it got to the point where it was actually starting to affect my work life and my personal life, to the point where I just couldn't actually deal with it anymore. So
Did you find that a lot of that was self-imposed, or did you find it was other people like in the community saying, haha, we're about to overtake Bonesaw, or Bonesaw's not good enough? Where'd you find it mostly came from?
It was a combination of both. Definitely as a person, I'm pretty hard on myself to begin with any aspect. Like if there's something going on in school, like if there's a test or something and I don't get the mark that I thought I would get, then I'm instantly hard on myself. So I think with the Luigi's Mansion thing, it definitely stemmed from personal, but sometimes especially online when you don't really know like the context of certain people's messages. There were like a lot of people saying like, oh, well, like Bonesaw must be sweating now, or, you know, it's like it's over for him and all that. And I took it really personally because it was the first time that I'd ever felt anything quite like that, like to be on top of something, you know, because I don't know, I'm not really good at anything else. So yeah.
I think we all have been there before where,
Oh, for sure.
like, I can give countless times in the Smash community where there's people that are just like, I'm not, this is all I have. There's nothing left. And then we're just like, nah, dude. We can always find something that you're good at.
Yeah.
It's like that mindset, like even like in sports and everything, you know, like when people like in high school when they're looking for scouts and all that, and you think like all they got is like football or basketball, and we're just like, nah, dude. It's like you always got something else that you just don't even realize that it's there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely though, like concerning other people, there's people who mean well that like kind of joke around, but it gets to you personally. And then there's people that, like what Spike said, you're never going to please everybody. So then there's always people that will just piggyback off of that and say like, yeah, you really do suck. And then of course, like it's personal at that point, but I mean, it affects people in different ways. That's the way that it affected me. And I'm sure that I'm not alone in the fact that some people must have felt the pressure in speedrunning at one point or another, where somebody's held a record for an insanely long time, and then all of a sudden somebody comes along and gets close to it or takes it, and it affects people that way.
Like it's really like an oh damn shock value too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a deep one too. Always never ever want to feel like you're a failure at anything, because one, like even when people don't even realize it, like the amount of work ethic that they put in is like remarkable and just an admirable thing that many of your viewers and fans are always going to remember you about. Like even though you think you're a failure, like everyone knows that you're not, and it's just pretty much just our way of beating ourselves up and trying to like pull ourselves up or bring ourselves down, and then it's just a way for us like to just blow up and then reconcile and come back together and just realize like, all right, this is a bunch of bullshit. Let's get back onto it and do what we got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I had something similar, not similar-ish.
All right, yeah, Patty, it's your turn for the answer. Thank you, Bonesaw, for your answer too. Thank you too,
No
Spike.
problem.
Back when I more regularly was trying to speedrun A Link to the Past, I was and still am friends with a lot of people that were whatever really really good at speedrunning A Link to the Past, and it was a lot of pressure, a lot of teasing, just because I wasn't as good. And I remember, I won't forget, because this is like the worst week of gaming I've ever done in my life. I went in, I just kind of said enough is enough. I'm going to get like a respectable time, like one that doesn't completely suck and isn't laughable. So I went in on practicing A Link to the Past runs. I put in like 3-4 hours of practice every day for like a week, just grinding rooms, strats, etc., like super hard. And at the end of the week, I felt like I had practiced so much, and I felt like I was so much better at the game and had learned a lot. And I was excited to cut like 15 minutes off my time. And after like 3 runs, I barely cut off like 7 minutes after completing a run. I didn't complete 2 runs because I messed up. And then I barely cut the time that I wanted to as my goal when I could have blown it out of the water. And I just stopped. I got my goal time and I barely made it, and I just stopped because I couldn't handle it. It was too much. There's so much pressure, and I was so frustrated with myself for putting all this work into it and then not being able to capitalize on it. And it was a lot of inner monologue that stemmed from an outer monologue, kind of, where I felt like I was basically a joke, more or less.
Damn.
So, and it's not like I was being bullied or anything like that. It was like friendly teasing. Like, you wouldn't think it would have any effect, and it doesn't really have like a conscious effect. Like, it doesn't really hurt you or anything. But then you kind of start building your own inner narrative off
Like
something small you hear from
Like
the
it
outside.
kind of lingers in the back of your head, and
Yeah,
it starts to
like
slowly
it's,
come
and
up
it's
front.
you can't put that on someone for just being like, hey, your time's pretty shitty. Like,
Sure.
it was like
Yeah.
an objective fact. Like, I had a shitty time, but it's just one of those things where it's depending on the way you take things, the way you think about yourself, the way you process stuff. Some people would take that and use it as motivation to be like, yeah, I'll show you a shitty time, and then like absolutely just destroy it and work through everything. But for me, it was, damn, my time is shitty. Wow, I can't do this. Wow, this blows. I don't want to go through this anymore. I'm done trying this hard with no result. I'm going to do something that I think is fun. And then I like learned how to speedrun Shovel Knight and had a shitty time in that too. So
It's like, screw this game, I'm picking up this other game. Oh,
yeah, exactly. So I mean,
It's
it's interesting the way stuff works like that, like little tiny conversations and just like teasing around with your buds or whatever, or like a little chat comment or a YouTube comment that you just like completely brush off and have no conscious like, wow, I can't believe it, blah blah blah. It's like this little thing that sits in the back of your mind, and then you just start like planting seeds in it, like maybe it's right, maybe like this, and like you don't even notice it until your mind's overrun with these anxiety, depression weeds that you have to either just get overcome by and just section it off and be like, that's completely screwed and we're done and we're going to leave it forever, or you got to hack through it all, and that's exhausting and a pain in the ass. So yeah, it's speedrunning can be person to person very, very stressful, lots of anxiety, and in a lot of cases kind of depression too, depending on your brain chemistry, because it's, you get to the point, like, I can't tell you how many people probably that have done speedruns and have tried to be good at them have essentially just said at one point when considering doing runs or practicing, what's the point? I'm not going to be able to do it anyways. And it's just like straight up depression, even if they don't realize it. Like, I'm not going to be able to do this. What's the point? I'm just going to be upset. Like, zero positive thoughts about it, when it's something that they clearly liked enough at one point to try doing it. That's my answer.
Thanks,
Yeah, this
Pat.
actually kind of ties into the next question I have. Like, have there ever been times that you guys have been just running and you kind of just didn't think about it, didn't do it for an extended period, and I guess what brought you back in? What was like, oh shit, I kind of want to speedrun this, or
Well,
like if you had a burnt out and everything, and then you just took a break from the burnout.
it's been about a year and a half. I'll let you know what brings me back. When
Right?
Oh my god.
Pat is gonna take like a bite out of something like really good. It's like, I should get back into this.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried it with Odyssey.
eating an
and
apple, like
I tried it with Mario Odyssey, and it was fun for a little bit, like learning stuff. And I always love learning how to get through a game fast and everything. But
Same, man. I start getting to the point where I'm not shaving off
Just a
like
lot.
8 minutes a run, and then I'm
You cut off
over it.
on us, Pat. That's why. Like your hangout like froze. I thought you were done.
my bad. Yeah, move on.
No, go again, Bones. I didn't get to hear.
Oh, I was just saying, like, to kind of piggyback off of Patty's previous comment, like, you get to the point where you're not shaving off like 7-8 minutes a run every single time, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, shit, do I just go for like the minimal time saves and the really infuriating tiny little very difficult like optimizations to try and save that time, or do I just call it quits here?
Do I reprogram my muscle memory with like the 5-second saving strat that someone came up with during the week I was learning this? So I
Yeah.
completely like screw myself over and go back to the drawing board with a new route
Those are
in
like
this game that I've been running forever.
those table flipping moments when you're like, all right, I got this. Oh, someone just figured out how to get
It's
more
completely
time.
new. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
So-
big thing about speedrunning is that it's changing all the time. You hear seemingly every day, oh, this game's changing every day. Someone made this discovery and now everything's different. And just everything you thought you knew before, throw it out the window. Someone coming in is basically going to be on the same skill level as you.
I feel like there could be
Because
like
it's
a
a
meme
different game.
comic about that. Like, just have someone like, yeah, I finally figured it out. Go online to see someone just cut it off. But like,
Oh, well.
Spike, I wanna hear your perspective on the Dragon Warrior run, because from the description, from what he was saying, like he had hit the record for that game, and then within the span of like I think either a few hours or like a day or two, someone had cut the time by 9 hours with the new tech they discovered.
wait, what?
9 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
Oh, wow. I'm not familiar. I don't follow Dragon Warrior. That's insane. That is the biggest, like, it was like you're holding a Billy
so,
Mitchell
I mean,
for them.
the way he described it was something that this other guy in the community had already been working on, and they had figured out how to like count both the number of tiles you move and the number of frames you're on each tile, and that will tell you the RNG for the entire game.
Oh, sure.
And so it's just like, what normally took like I think 13.5-ish hours what originally took 9.5 hours got cut down to like 25-ish minutes.
Was this the run that was just shown at the last GDQ?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was flipping shit about this. I was asleep, and
I still think it's one of the most incredible things.
I was asleep during this run because I had to work like at 4 in the morning or something, and I just wake up to a bunch of messages like, "They just skipped 9 hours of the game and everything. Did you see that?" I'm just like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "I'm like, what are you talking about?" Dragon Warriors, 9 hours cut, 20 minutes. These guys are gods.
In speedrunning, we go nuts when we're like, dude, I just found like a 2-second time saver in Link to the Past. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah, I'm dope.
Oh, it's so sad that 2-second time save is actually like monumental at this.
Yes, it is. It is. For most
Wait,
of
you're not,
Super Mario
you're not
Brothers.
saying it in a number of frames. You're saying it in the seconds. What did you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
hold on,
holy
backtrack.
Backtrack.
Tell me what you did.
Time saver right here. So all of a sudden you hear from we just saved 9 hours. The length of what it would take for TMR to beat the entire NES library. We just cut off a Dragon Ball.
And then, of course, you get the classic, like, whoa, that's way too big of a time save. Different category. How dare you endanger my hard work in this run I've done? No. This one thing will be its own category so that my run can remain pristine among the best runs in this game. And everyone that wants to go faster than me can do their own little thing over here.
Can live on their own little island.
But don't you dare cross into this territory.
It happens every time, man. Someone comes up with some new shit that's like, look at how much time you can save. And like the people on top are like, whoa. No. No. This is a new thing. We can't have this in the normal. No. New category.
We can't come to an agreement on anything. Like, you definitely want to balance to that because nobody wants, Ocarina of Time, they found the wrong warp. They can beat Ocarina of Time in 17, 18 minutes now.
Yeah.
It's good to have more categories than that, I've always felt. Like, yes, there should be we actually go play most of the game category. Like, that's fine. But it also gets to a point I've always said when I look at a leaderboard, like Super Mario Odyssey just had, its 1.2 patch come out, and it patched a bunch of tricks that we can't use anymore in various categories. Some that are just a lot harder now. So now everything's filterable by there's 1.0 and then there's 1.2 and then there's all the different categories. And are you playing on physical copy, digital copy? Are you using Amiibo? it gets to a point where it's like if there's 700 categories, no one gives a shit if you have the world record in Super Mario Odyssey. In version 1.2, no amiibo, yes, 2-player,
amiibo.
on a physical copy on Tuesdays. Like, no one gives a shit.
On Tuesday.
But it gets to a point because people ultimately get emotionally attached. I think a lot of time too. I put a lot of work into this category, and now it doesn't mean anything anymore.
That's my favorite, dude. You move away from the percent category names to shit like all items, no amiibo.
Yeah.
I love looking at the Ocarina of Time categories. It's just a bunch of I don't even know, like Hebrew or something like that.
No IM, no WW.
No IMWs, XQZ, all dungeons, no items, no RBY, super
MST,
duper,
all that stuff.
back walking prohibited to 50%. Like
IQ.
Oh my god.
what is happening?
But this is what happens.
Like, what does this
what
stand
happens.
for? It's
This
like
is
a
what
whole new
happens when
thing.
there's so many sets of eyeballs looking at a given game. Like, I keep bringing up Ocarina of Time. Like, there are literally like hundreds and hundreds, maybe you could even say like a couple thousand people who over the years in that community were like, let's bust this thing wide open. And it being an early 3D game, they found everything. Like I said, that game is beatable in 17 minutes, but that does not begin to tell how many glitches they found, how many speed strats they have found in order to do things. Little just intended stuff that years later no one knew was a thing. They finally found it.
And there's something for like Super Mario World where you can like beat it in like in 10 seconds or something.
Oh
Yeah, Seth Blake.
I remember the Seth
30
Blake
seconds,
Chronicles,
40
man.
seconds.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like Hungrybox made like a tweet joke about it. Like he gave credit to the speedrun. I can't remember the name. But it's like saying like your girlfriend's gonna come over in a minute and everything, and just shows the speed run when it ends.
Yeah, I remember that tweet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bunch of weird, arbitrary code execution where it looks like he's just doing a bunch of weird shit in the game for like a minute, which is what he's doing. He like picks up a shell, flicks it up in the air. He dupes a block to where now there's another block on top of it. He gets Yoshi. He eats a thing on a weird frame, scrolls the camera a couple times, and the credits start running.
Yeah, and the credits start running, and like he just pops off. I'm like, it's an amazing feat. I'm just like, what the hell just happened?
What happened? Yeah.
That's the thing. Like it made me. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You're fine.
I was gonna say, didn't someone do a glitch exhibition of? I don't remember what Super Mario game it was, but one of the games at the most recent AGDQ.
There's a lot of glitch exhibitions.
Yeah. I love TASBot, man.
TASBot's the
stuff
shit.
is so good.
Dude, TASBot's the guest that I was trying to get, but then I had to settle with you guys.
Should have got TASBot.
Yeah, TASBot's gonna be back in this next GQ.
TASBot was busy.
They're gonna beat Super Metroid with 0% items collected. They're gonna do some like weird stuff with the animals. F-Zero GX, there's gonna be some crazy shit there. The new Celeste that just came out, amazing game by the way.
Go figure out how you can kill and release the animals at the same time.
Shit.
Yeah, there's going to be something like that. I don't know exactly what it is. They always have it as a bit of a surprise for when we get to the GDQ. We see it done live. But
like, it's like if you do this at this exact frame.
There's one question. There's one question in chat, actually there's two questions in chat. One, I'm gonna quickly run through.
Hold on. Before we do the questions in chat.
Hold
on. Before we do the questions in chat, we're gonna save a lot of the questions at the end because there's a bunch of questions in chat that I want to go through because some of them are fun, some of them are serious. But let's keep firing out the ones that we have currently.
All right.
I think we kind of just went through all the ones that we had currently, but I just want to make sure that we did.
We like accidentally hit every question. There's
did we really?
Oh man.
We hit pretty much every question except one that so with the GDQs being the forefront of speedrunning and speed gaming and kind of being focused around the social good that they do you think that two things being connected is exclusive in that you couldn't actually have that same level of social good being done in other scenes without kind of taking away from how the scene works?
Who wants to answer that first?
Would you mind clarifying the question a little bit? So
yeah, I don't really know what you're asking.
So okay, when I think about it, I'm like, okay, if I were to try to have a Smash tournament and do the same kind of level of social good, I'd be detracting from the like inherent competitive nature of Smash.
Sure.
But I think that kind of the individualistic mentality behind speedrunning kind of makes it more accessible to have a charity associated with it. Like, I mean, within Smash we have Smash the Record, which is also speedrunning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that and maybe it's just that the correlation has been set so hard at this point. But do you think that without having competition, you can still do that same social goods? Can you apply the like single player style to something else, and do you think you'd still be able to get the same thing done?
Well, it depends. It depends on what it is you're trying to apply it to and how you apply it. Because the reason GDQ works is because it's a showcase, and people give money in order to essentially see more showcase. They put a lot of it behind a paywall. So it's incentivized to be like, hey, we're going to show you all this cool stuff, and while we're showing you this, if you pay more money, we'll show you really cool stuff that you don't get to see unless we raise enough money for charity. It's like really easy to do because it's very showcasey. It's not the same. Like if you watch someone do a speed run on a GDQ and then go to their stream the next week and watch them do the same speed run, it's a completely different viewing experience because they're constantly talking about strategies, people that have found stuff, donation comments, talking about the game, trivia facts, all that sort of stuff. And then you go to their stream and they're just like screaming a string of expletives that they missed a 2-second saver. So it's not even remotely close to the same thing. With like Smash, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean,
Smash, if you wanted to showcase
within reason. I mean, you're fighting, like you're competing against someone. You're fighting the computer. You're fighting someone else. You're seeing who wins, and there's not really much you can incentivize, but besides the actual people playing. Like if you want to see this matchup, we need this much money for charity. Like that could be a thing, but there isn't as much of a with speedrunning. It's like literally any video game, game.
In Smash, when we did Smash the Record, like when they do Smash the Record, they actually do kind of have an incentive that way, where it's professionals versus, like casuals or like lower level players and all that. Like the professionals fight against the world, or
so there's a way to do it. It's just
like in Super Smash Con. They have for the 64 the combo contest, like the combo exhibitions and everything, like the combo like they can also like try to do the exhibition of break the record. I mean like break the targets or board the platforms and get those world records and everything. Do an exhibition of that or the home run contest is, but like at the end it's still like it's say like if Smash wanted to do something with more charitable work and all that, and it's like say like see Mango play against famous rapper or actor or something and everything. And like if you don't into that, like we can see that happen and stuff. Like have your favorite player team up with one of these A-list celebrities from this show or something and stuff.
And they play another favorite player with another A-list celebrity or something.
Yeah.
I've always said at Smash the Record they should do something where you've got two of your best, your most famous smashers there, and they each have to take a speedrunner and do like a teams match or something.
Which is something they could do, and I feel like they need a. I'm gonna yell at Rage and Cherry about that later.
I'm
like, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do now.
I've been talking about it for years, and I've never brought that up. Where have they done this?
I'm gonna go up to him. I'm like, yo, Alex.
I think it's something that would ultimately have to live in almost these like side show things, where you inherently want to respect the competitive nature of what FGC events are. So you look at Smash, you don't want something where like, all right, so for the finals, they're going to have to play an extra match, or they now have to play with items on or something. Like that just inherently like that doesn't work.
Even within the speedrunning community.
Hold up, someone...
That's like a thing, like at GDQs where like the last day, this was a few years ago, the last day there's this Super Metroid race, and it's really, really important to everyone that gives a shit.
Yeah.
So they like read off a donation comment where it got the entire audience at the event to like start screaming something or whatever in the middle of this race, and everyone like involved with the race was like, why are you doing this? Like, we're trying to, like, the runners are trying to concentrate in this like super intense game, and like everyone's screaming, and they shouldn't have done this, and it's horrible, but it's for charity in the end. So the event is based on like, we're trying to raise money for charity. We're not trying to like put on this epic speedrun race, and it's not supposed to be this super serious thing because the focus is charity at the event.
Right.
So it's kind of like this pull between like
Tug of war.
this competitive nature of we're all doing really well in this race and we want to do well, we need concentration, and then if you donate this much money, the audience will scream a Waluigi noise.
Sure.
So it's a give and take, and there's no perfect synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
to the point
doable.
where it feels like if there becomes, which I think there will be in the coming years, there will be another major speedrunning event that is not a charity event at all.
Yeah.
That focuses more on the competitive aspect of speedrunning. How that's structured, I have no idea. But if that were to happen, that is its own thing that, you know, may or may not, like charity would almost be like this side focus, not even a 1-to-1 ratio. Like you could make the case possibly with a GDQ. It's, we happen to be raising money over here on the side while we're really focusing on, yeah, it is important to the players who wins this race. As opposed to the more casual nature of like what happens at a GDQ for any of these. It's just because you won the Super Metroid match, that doesn't mean you're walking around, you're not the Super Metroid world champion. You know, you didn't win any prize money or anything. You won that exhibition match effectively. And now we're both going to go back and not care who won the race. And, you know, we're going to try to get world record in the game or get a new personal best or whatever that might be. So it might be the same sort of instance with Smash, where maybe it's a completely different event, like Smash the Record, where I think there are a lot of fun things you can do. You talked about there's some stuff you could do with maybe like the N64 version, a home run contest on the side. You could have celebrity matches be in there in some way, little sideshow events in the downtime. Possibly you could do it. But probably I imagine, you know, something like Evo is always going to be just those top. This is our competitive fighting game tournament, and that's it.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Prem, it's possible for pretty much any community. No community's done it perfectly, even speedrunning, even though the reason people turn to speedrunning as like the shining opus of look at this charitable event is because that's how speedrunning got known. Speedrunning used to just be like a hobby people did in like the underground, and you were really weird if you did it. Like, why are you doing this over and over again? Don't you have a life, sort of thing? And because of GDQ, it's become this huge thing that everyone talks about. There aren't really any other like gaming communities where they have that one thing that made the community bigger. It's more the community got bigger and then they made a thing. So it's easy to look at it and be like, this is how it's done, when really it's not perfect.
Oh, yeah. So kind of related to the growth of esports and how it's kind of centralized speedrunning, a question from chat. Has the increased popularity of GDQ brought on a more restrictive corporate identity, or has the criticism of GDQ being too PC been blown out of proportion?
A little bit of both, in my opinion. It's kind of one of those things where it's become so big that it can't not be. Being PC is basically attempting to not step on anyone's toes. And when you have hundreds of thousands of people watching you 24/7 for a week, it's kind of important to not just like randomly step on anyone's toes for really no reason. So it's not like a bad thing that they're doing it. It's more like a, oh crap, this is really big now. We could get in a lot of trouble sort of thing. in my opinion. And it does suck to the people that participated in it before it was this big thing, where it was just this fun thing to go to and you could kind of do whatever you wanted. And it was about having fun doing speed runs and talking about them. But now it's become this giant production that's international, and a lot of people that don't know anything about video games, you could be like, yeah, I went to AGDQ and we raised money by speedrunning. And they'll go, I've heard about that. What's that about? When like 4 years ago, you would have been like, yeah, we raised, $40,000 for charity at a speedrunning event. They'd be like, I don't know what any of that means besides charity, but that's cool. So it's kind of this thing where it's a necessity given how big it's gotten. It can't be the way it was unless it somehow got like half as big for no reason.
Yeah, I completely agree with Patty there. Like the real story, like what it just actually is they had to go a little bit more PC. They had to appeal a little bit more to a general audience. And that's with anything. The bigger you get, the less you are like, oh, maybe we can't curse as much. Maybe we have to be a little more family friendly. We can't potentially say something to offend people. At the same time, I do feel like there is a large part of the internet who does try to blow it out of proportion. How much, we can and cannot do there. I still feel like all the time, there are people who like to claim there's no fun had at GDQs anymore.
No fun allowed.
And to those people, every time I hear someone say it, I go, I don't think that person's ever been at a GDQ before. I've never seen them there, so I don't know how they know that it's not that much fun. I've gone to like 12 straight GDQ events, and it's some of the most, I think 13 now, actually. 12. This is upcoming to be the 13th straight one. And it's some of the most fun I have all year. Now, I have a friend base that I go there and see, but they've got an awesome arcade there with tons of games to play.
Patty did
it's awesome just to get to meet new people at these events, be around a culture that's not just into speedrunning, but they're into a lot of, I think, specifically retro and retro style gaming. That, I can't think of another event you could go to and find this many people who are just like, hell yeah, dude, Super Mario World is so cool. Even gaming events, where can you go? Be like, oh, I think my older brother played that when he was getting to be. You're honest when like you played Super Nintendo, like you're some of the old people in the community.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah, I mean, I think that on top of, even just down to watching the runs, like anybody who say like even just on stream the runs aren't any fun, look at what they just had this past Awful Block with us doing stuff like EnviroBear and Superman 64.
Good God.
Arabian Night.
I'm gonna
Dog's Life, and like don't watch those runs and tell me we're not having fun there.
Bonesaw, what do you got to say on this?
I really don't know what to say that hasn't been said already, but I can definitely agree that though it's not like really the same as it used to be on camera, I think it's definitely the experience off camera is certainly one that's way more profound, in that I've met like some friends there that I think will be like friends forever, including Patrick, who's waving at me right now.
Look at that guy.
Just waving.
And but yeah, it's they have like a lot of activities and stuff, and they encourage you to meet like a lot more people. They have like the board game room and stuff like that. You can do your own speedruns there. You can play casual games with friends that you might not be able, that you otherwise wouldn't be able to like play with. So yeah,
the entire Ocarina of Time. It makes me sound like I'm in the Ocarina of Time community because I keep bringing it up, but I'm not. I don't play the game at all. But the Ocarina of Time community, we were doing some random like Pacross tournament in the other room. That's my shit, Pacross, dude. That's dope. But in the room right next door, kind of going off what Bonesaw was just saying, the Ocarina of Time community filled up this room. There were like 100 people in there, and they were playing charades randomly. And you're like you poked your head in. They were having some fun, dude. There was coming from a theater background like I am. I was like, they were pretty good at it. It's like different, like they're having to show like Ocarina of Time glitches. People like ISG. I am wrong with GBC or WBY. Yeah, WBY. Let's go out there afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. You go there like you're gonna find some fun stuff to do that has nothing to do with what is on stream actually there.
Yep.
Sure.
Our friend Golden sometimes used to, still does, I'm not sure, puts on game shows.
Yeah.
Like in-person game shows where like the 30, 40 people will pack in a room, like an unused tournament room or something, and Golden will have prepared a literal game show based around speedrunning trivia or speedrunning facts or well-known people within the speedrunning community and our friend group and stuff like that. I know that one time it was, what is it called? Like the Newlywed Game or something along those lines.
Newlywed couples, yeah.
Like the one where you have to like
hold the sign up and you try to guess what there it is.
Yes.
Right, exactly. There's one with that, but it was all the questions were speedrunning questions. Where, like people that were in the room watching could like go up and play, and it wasn't like people specific. It was like speedrunning stuff, like Mario and RPG. What would he do in this situation? That sort of thing, and they'd write something down. It worked really well. It was really fun. And then there was another one where there were like 3 competitors doing, or like 4 competitors doing a gauntlet of video games sort of thing that I got to participate in. It was super fun, where everyone got like Monopoly money. Everyone that was playing, the 4 of us got like a certain amount of Monopoly money. And there were like sabotage things and also like head start things you could bid for at the start of each round. And like every round, one person got eliminated. So like the first round was playing Super Mario Bros. And like you could buy a thing where you could make one person have to play like while standing on one foot. Like they couldn't ever have 2 feet.
Oh, that sounded so cool! I wanted to do that.
Yeah, it was really fun. Or for the final round, I made it there against my speedrun buddy Twig, and it was Super Mario 64, and it was a 16-star run. And there were like 4 or 5 things you could bid on that they revealed throughout the playthrough, and one of them was you have to wear oven mitts for 10 minutes. So I bought that one, and Twig, who was way better than me at SM64, all of a sudden had oven mitts on with an N64 controller trying to play Mario 64 and speedrun it, and it was impossible. And then for retribution, like 5 minutes later, he bought one where I wasn't allowed to jump for the next like 3 stars. So I had to find a way to get 3 stars without jumping, which took forever. Forever. It was horrible. So he ended up winning, but it was really fun, and it was just this thing that happened in like a side room. And like there's so much stuff like that at GDQs, and all it takes is really one person to be like, hey, let's do this thing. And then all of a sudden there's this like huge group of people that all want to do it with you, and you make new friends that way, and you have something to talk about, something to do. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I go to GDQs, unless I'm on the microphone or playing the game, I don't really go in the marathon room where they're streaming. It's the boring part of GDQ is being in the marathon room watching what's happening, because everything else outside of it is so much better.
Yeah.
That being said, don't go to a GDQ without friends.
Yes. Recap on 2 weeks ago. Don't go there without friends.
Don't go there without friends. I know dozens of people that go to these things, and it makes it really fun for me, and that's how all these things can happen that I can be a part of. If you go alone, you'll meet people, but you won't have like friends, you know? And it's just don't, for the love of God, don't go without friends. Go with a couple friends, sure.
Some connection going
right.
to the event for sure.
Right.
And there's sort of about like there are like moments definitely where I've been proud to be in the stream room when it's just like, you know, again, kind of like Patrick, not necessarily so like I'm not up on the couch or something. I'm just in the audience watching.
Right.
But for the most part, and it's an understood thing, that is something that is made for the people at home. That is really what you are catering to, less so to the audience live sitting there in the room. There can still be some moments there for sure that I had a lot of fun with, but yeah, definitely it is made for the audience at home, I would say.
So I have a question. I'm going to start with Bonesaw because this is a Bone Mom question.
Ooh.
Oh, we're doing it from the chat because I was about to do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let me do it. Let me do it.
So
Let me do it.
Bone Mom asks.
I'm tired of your voice. I'm doing it.
You want this one? All right, you got
All
this.
right. From Bone Mom. Can you say you've been supported in your speedrun career by your family and friends? Or do they express in thoughts or actions that being a speedrunner is a waste of time and money?
Answer carefully.
I'm going to let Bonesaw answer first.
Woo! Good luck, buddy.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. No doubt.
Good
Yes,
answer.
I love you,
I
Mom.
love you, Mom.
I love you, Mom.
Yeah, my mom she's always been really supportive of me no matter what I do. So, especially with playing video games, it's something that I thought, like when I was little and I was starting to collect this massive hoard of video games, she was starting to say like, no, you're not getting the new Wii or something like that because you have too many already. So unless you want something new, you're gonna have to sell something.
Wait,
and I never had to do that.
That's the second time I've heard that.
But I never had to do it because always at Christmas time I'd open up a present, there would be like a Wii or a GameCube or something there, and
that Bone Mom's so crafty.
So I'd always just play video games, and she was always very, very supportive of like everything that I did. And then when I started speedrunning, of course, the support didn't stop there. And like she subscribed to me when I got a subscription button, all that stuff. And yeah, she's awesome. I love her a lot. And she's always been supportive, and I think she always will be. I'll always support my mom anyway for all the support that she's given me. So, and I think it's also kind of important that if you have a hobby that you really enjoy doing and something that you want to sink massive amounts of time into, that it's very important to at least have a parent or somebody close to you that really supports what you do, so that you also have that kind of outlet to talk about it if you get mad about it, so that it doesn't build up. And also when like you're really happy about it, you also want to share it with somebody. So I think that having somebody that like doesn't just go and say, well, like you're just wasting your life away playing video games in your room, I think it's very important. It's definitely appreciated, but I think it's also very important.
I came from a theater background, so my parents were already supporting me in that lifestyle. So hearing one where I'm just at home playing video games, making money through that, they were like, sure. I don't know. I had parents that were very much, as long as you are happy. I'm sure that's a lot of where Bonesaw's mother comes from as well. As long as what you are doing makes you happy, then we are happy. You know, we were the fourth children at that point, so.
Yeah,
that's part of it. They were just like, I'm over caring. You're not getting drugs, whatever. It's fine.
Oh, you're the baby. It's fine.
I'm not even the baby. They had a fifth one after that. Did you have a fifth, Bonesaw? Were you?
No, I was the last.
No, last.
Oh, okay. You guys, they cut it off after you guys.
I was the last.
You were the ones that caused the cutoff. No.
I caused an earthquake when I was
I'm
born.
No, I don't know. They as much as you can support something. It's not like my parents grew up playing video games in their generation. They're a little older crowd. They really didn't know what I was doing at all. But they knew to some extent also, especially through Twitch streaming, I've been able to sort of, take back on those skills that I developed in my theater life. that very much I get to be an entertainer like every day on Twitch streams. That it felt like something I cared about doing and I loved doing. So they had, probably more of like a respect from a distance and just a love that it was something that I loved doing. So yeah, it's been great how much they have supported me over the years as well, for sure.
Okay, Pat is back. Who's proud?
It's kind of been more, and this isn't true in every case, but it's kind of been more tolerance until proven successful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like I can't support you. Like when I told my parents, I was still living with my parents, working a dead end, basically retail job, that I wanted to quit and stream full time, and I told them that, and they were like, "No." And then I was like, "Okay, well, here's this gigantic business plan that I've spent the last 3 months preparing, all of the stuff I've made for this, et cetera, et cetera. Like, here's everything. I could start tomorrow and be set." Then they were like, "If you really think that you can do this, then we'll support you. But promise us that if it doesn't take off, you'll get a job." It's like, all right. And like the first day, I made basically like 3 weeks worth of pay in one day that I did at like the job I had just quit. And at that point, my parents were nothing but supportive. Which was great. But it took a lot to kind of crack through the generational thing of like, hey, I want to, play video games for a living. Because like you say that and a parent's like red alert starts going off like they're throwing their lives down the drain. All of my parenting's going to nothing. I have to stop this.
Where did I go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Which is completely understandable, but
it's like it's a generation thing though too, right? So
yeah, they have no idea that this is a way. This is something that people care about.
Like parents grew up with like all these old games that served only as a entertainment basis only, like sort of activity. Now it's gotten so like gaming in general has gotten so big that you can literally make a living off of just sitting at home playing video games and make more than like a high paying job in an office building.
To clarify,
Cutie Pie still got goddamn money.
My parents have been nothing but supportive of me throughout my entire life. Very, very supportive. It's just this one thing specifically relating to speedrunning, streaming video games. That's when they were like,
And that does not make parents evil in any way.
No. Like I said,
there's always this like, I love you. Like my parents say, I love you, I support you. But there's always this, I also want you to be good.
Right. That's exactly why before I even told them I wanted to do it, I took literal months to build this business plan for streaming so that when I came to them and basically in their eyes said, I want to flush my life down the drain. Right. At least here's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Here's the plunger. Here's all, here's the...
Exactly. So it's not like
We lost you.
Oh, no.
We lost you.
Oh, no.
Or just when you come with something like this, it's kind of radical. It's going to take a little bit of finagling to get people to support you. And it's important to find someone or have people, like Bonesaw said, where not necessarily they're going to support or they do support you, but have people in your life where once you show them that you care about this hobby or you care about the job and that you are willing to put in the time and the effort to make it something worthwhile and something that will grow you and something that will be a part of your life and be positive, then they will hop on board. Because you can have people in your life where you can like, hey, look at all this stuff I'm going to do. They'll be like, have fun. But it's important to have people in your life where you're like, look at this gigantic thing I've put together. I'm going to change my life and focus on this, and it's going to be my baby. With the people you want are the people that are going to be like, yo, that's awesome. How do I help? How do I get involved? What do you need from me? What can I do? Stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay.
I have one question.
No. I want to answer this before you go to the next question because mine is completely different perspective. So basically, like how all you guys had like supportive parents and everything. All right. So to an extent, my mom was supportive of it, but like how Patty explained it, like the moment you mention video games, it's a waste of time. Like.
Oh, yeah.
My mom's Hispanic. My mom's from Panamanian, so, you know, Hispanic family, traditional, everything traditional. So, video games are not traditional. The only thing that video games are for are just for leisure activity and everything. Not to in any way, shape, or form to make money. Not in their eyes. And if there are anyone that is Hispanic in this chat, you know how hard it is to convince a Hispanic mom into anything that doesn't make sense in their mind. So...
Oh, yeah.
So for the longest time, I had literally been like grinding out like on certain things of, you know, like being in the video game world and trying to like live my life playing video games and everything, and it doesn't work out that way in the household that I am. Like there would be times when I would try to boot up the stream, like I had the plan, I even tell them the plan, they'll go for it. And the moment I'll boot up the stream, D, I need you outside to help me with something. I was like, Ma, I was like, Ma, I'm doing my stream. That can wait later. I'm like, what about what I just told? I don't care what you just told me.
That sounds like an everyday problem.
This was literally an everyday problem. Like when I first brought it up to them, when I wanted to work, like when I brought it up to my mom and like my brothers and everything, like I'm the baby in the family, so everyone thought they were a parent. All my brothers thought they were a parent when they realized they weren't a parent. So if there wasn't a parent in the household, there was another parent in the household. Let's just go back to how my lifestyle was. You know, like how you guys had your times to play your own games and everything? My brothers would unplug the systems because I wasn't allowed to touch anything with a plug. So I couldn't play games. So if they had a system and they didn't want me to play it, they will unplug it, and if I plugged it, I got in trouble. That's how crazy it was back then. So,
the fourth, dude. We were the fourth.
We were the fourth. We were the baby in the family. You're not allowed to play any of my games. No.
Yeah.
So
being the baby, like when I got to high school, I wanted to play video games on weekdays, and that was abhorrent.
Oh my god!
It was so much better than my older brother getting caught playing strip poker drunk in high school. So all of a sudden, playing video games on weekdays didn't seem so bad, and I was like, take it, sure, let's play video games.
But okay, let me wrap up this answer. Let me wrap up this. So it was hard just to like even like try to like set my foot off in the table and everything. So, and there would be times when I get like really proud of myself, like certain like when I was like getting really good at League and all of that, and I wanted to tell my mom about it. And I would like go downstairs and everything and be like, "Oh, mom," I was like, "I did this and everything. The yard's not clean." I'm like, "What does that have to do about what I just did upstairs and everything?" Like, I just got this one of these rare feats with one of the hardest champions at the time. Like, damn near getting a pentakill with Warwick was one of the most impossible things, and I was the happiest person to ever do that. And I told my mom, she was like, "The yard's not mowed." It's like you didn't mow the lawn or any of that shit. I'm just like. So like anytime when I had like a praise or something or saying I was working or I'm getting really good that I can actually make money off of this and all that, it's like I couldn't care less because this is not done or blah. And I'm like, so I always got like, so it got to the point where like, you know, like how you guys always say like when you want to talk to them about venting off about something about in the games and everything, I didn't have that until I literally moved out. Because any other time, it got to the point that we were just arguing, or I'll be trying to play, and they'll be calling me to talk to me about something, and it got to the point. It was literally to the point that if I wasn't working at a job and just playing video games, they just did not want anything to do with me other than just to yell at me and then make sure that I did something around the house. So like if I came home, so if they came home and they just saw me playing games, they would literally say, "What did you do all day?"
Ooh.
And I was yeah. So
Even
like
if-
it got to
even
the
if
point.
I
It was like I
just
don't even want to talk
started-
to you guys. I got to the point. It was like I don't even want to talk to you guys because nothing I say is gonna make you guys happy. So
Yeah.
I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, even if like you had just sat down and turned on your PS2 or whatever, like, what have you been doing all day? I'm like, I did everything else I had to do. I just am sitting down now.
like even if there was literally
But,
nothing to do, it'd just be like, "Did you even do anything in the house today?" I'm like,
It's
"No."
just this inherent. You're
Find
playing
something else
video
to
games.
do.
You're clearly wasting your time.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not doing something
That was-
productive. Yeah.
So yeah, it was really hard. So even like when I was being like an MC, because okay, this is gonna put some organizations on blast, especially in the Smash community. Like in the early days of Smash, if you got work, you didn't get paid like right away, which was dumb. But there are some organizations that are saying like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have these events like weeklies and all this." And this is when I'm still working at the airport, so I can fly out for free. And I tell everyone that like I can travel for free, so you don't even have to pay for my traveling. You just compensate that into like more of the pay. And a lot of them were always like give me like, you know, like the ring around saying like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of events and everything, and we'll let you know, we'll contact you," and I'll contact them, and then nothing happens. So like it would be like, since I'm like a contractor, I will go out, they'll tell me how much they're gonna pay us, but then we won't see the payment for a while. And that made things worse, especially in my household, because it made it seem like I was skipping out on work to go play video games in a different state and not get paid and everything. And it just made like the whole situation worse. And when they started seeing that I was making money and everything, they still weren't impressed, because they just thought like, "Where did you get this money from?" Like, "From doing games." And they're like, "No, you did this." I'm like, "No, this is from me playing video games or going out to do stuff for a video game." But it was just always skeptical and stuff. But until literally like on Facebook or something, where there was like a really bad time where the government like came and like stripped all of my money, and I had to do a GoFundMe. That was literally the breakthrough that my whole family noticed, that a bunch of people from the community helped out and helped me get me back on my feet. And they were like, "Oh, so you weren't making all this up all these years?" I'm like, "No."
That's great. That's
Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate. It has to be like through that
Yeah.
that they have to realize it. But there's, I mean, just people in our culture, the generations above us especially, it's just something that was not part of their lives growing up. Video games were something you did. It was that Pong thing in the table that you played. Or like, okay, yeah, when I was a kid, I played Super Mario Brothers, and that was it. And then like I had to go out and get a real job or whatever it was. It's cool to see. I feel like slowly but surely more and more people are savvy about this sort of stuff. I've said this a couple times during this. It's not an ego thing, more so than when people say, "Hey, you're Spike Machida, nice to meet you." Not even like at a gaming event, like you're out at like a restaurant or something. Like, that's cool that there are just more people these days who know what this is, who know what this culture of things are. We talk about sports all the time. Sports back in the day was a thing you did for leisure. It was not this thing that parents probably thought, "Oh, my kid's going to grow up to be a baseball player and he's going to make millions of dollars." Traveling around the country playing baseball or football or whatever that might be. Actors getting in Hollywood and whatnot. No one probably knew that was going to be such a big thing. It was something people did for recreational purposes. And then next thing you know, people are getting paid millions of dollars, $50 million for Robert Downey Jr. to play Iron Man again. So it's cool to see video games are getting to that point. Our parents can be more accepting of it and just understand it, and more than just our parents. So,
I mean, like, they also watched us, but also to backtrack on that too, there are times when I was really bad and lazy when I didn't do chores. But that had nothing to do with me like just sitting down and gaming and everything. It would be like, all right, I can just get to it later on or something, but I don't want to do it.
I'm right there with you, bud. It's
but when I do it, I'm doing it. and like I'll do it well, and then I'll just go back and game and stuff. And then when I'm just like, okay, I want to train, like since my thing is I do one extreme to the other. There's no middle. So if I go all out, I forget anything else exists. So
Sure.
until someone's like, "Hey D, we're here," I'm like, "Oh yeah." And then you can look around. It's like, "Oh damn, everything just went to shit around me." Okay.
All right. Do you guys have any like last minute things? Because I gotta get going here pretty soon.
Okay. There was a
Alright, for
there was a
sure.
fun question. Wait, what did you say?
What's
bro?
everyone's favorite cereal?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Lucky Charms.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Lucky
Hells
Charms?
yes.
Rhuhorn. It's this rice cereal. I don't eat.
What
I don't
the-
eat a lot of cereal. I eat a lot of shit with a lot of sugar in it.
What
Yeah.
is
I was
Rhuhorn?
expecting,
In
yeah, I
the
was
hell?
expecting like a Special K or a Captain Crunch. and
This
all
man straight
Bro,
up
like,
went up the
German
Reptar
ass.
rice
cereal.
cereal, natural.
This
just
man
like
went Reptar cereal because that was only
plain
one.
ass.
Dude, I always thought Spike was more like a Count Chocula guy myself.
Yeah, that's what I.
That's what I
think-
thought.
I thought I knew.
See, I mean, by comparison, Patty, you strike me as like a Honey Bunches of Oats, Great Grains kind of guy.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Dude,
I
I'm
can
busting
see-
my ass
You
trying to
someone-
not eat all the shit I actually want to eat.
Wait,
if I
Pat,
could have
what
things
did
my
you
way,
say?
I'd be like pouring a like economy-sized box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch on my
Cinnamon
hand just with
Toast
my mouth.
Crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I'm a
strike me with
Frosted
Cinnamon
Flakes
Toast
person.
Crunch
I love
kind of guy.
Frosted Flakes.
Now, why can't that be how life works?
I'm gonna be real with you though. If you really want to get like into some good cereal shit, Frosted Cheerios.
Yes.
But you don't eat the Frosted Cheerios. You just put a shit ton of milk in a bowl of Frosted Cheerios and then siphon the milk out and drink
Yeah. It is the greatest
Throw
sugar
the
milk in the
cereal
world.
away.
It is the
it.
greatest.
Good.
Because after that, it just becomes regular Cheerios, but you got
Exactly.
all
It's just regular
milk.
Cheerios in this delicious milk concoction. And
Ah!
there's no point in having the regular Cheerios. Just get them out of there.
Following up on that though, are you a milk before cereal type of person? Or are you
Oh my god! Why is this such a
What?
thing all of a sudden?
I don't know, and I'm gonna blame the Smash community. If Mr. R, go fuck yourself. Why did you do this? This is dumb. This is the dumbest question, and I hate that this has become like its own little meme across all the communities. You put your cereal, then you pour your milk over it. If you want to add some strawberries to some shit, you add that on top.
Okay,
That's
okay.
it.
I'm gonna defend on Mr. R because one, I don't do that because that is un-American, but and clearly he's not American, so I can let him slide for that. But if who saw Doug in here, who used to watch Doug on Nickelodeon? Okay, remember when they were in the Buff Scout, when they're in the Buff Scouts and everything, and they were lost, and him and Skeeter were talking. I was like, yeah, man, we know all the secrets. It's like, yeah, you know, like how to make your cereal crunchy with the milk in it. And they literally said they poured the milk in before the cereal and make it crunchy and everything. We're just like, wait. When I remembered that, I was like, hold up, Doug. We don't do that out here. So I'm like, Doug, this is why you went to ABC and after that. This is why Disney picked you up, Doug, because you out here speaking crazy. This is why you on a recess lineup with everyone else. This is why Rugrats had 3 movies and all that. Like,
I'm 100% a normal human being who puts in the cereal first, but like, should we try it once just to see like why it's a thing?
It's
No.
not a
Here's-
thing.
No.
I've
not
tried.
a thing.
Okay,
It's
when
not
I
a
was a
thing.
kid, I tried it, and it was the dumbest
You
thing in the
pour
world.
Too much.
It was the
No,
dumbest
no.
thing in the world.
Yeah, this is what happens. As a kid, you like cereal, your parents make it for you. You start getting old enough to where you wake up before your parents because you're trying to wake up at 5 a.m. and play video games without them
Yes.
hassling you.
Yes.
And then
So
you're
yeah.
like, I need cereal. So you get the bowl, you get the milk, you get the cereal, you get the spoon. And then you don't know what the hell you're doing. So you're like, all right, I need milk and I need cereal. And you pour the cereal in, milk gets everywhere. And you're like, oh, I need to do it the other way from now on. And then you never do it again. Everything's fine. That's what happens. That's what everyone goes through. They do it once. And then you're like, now I know.
And then you never do it
Cereal
again.
goes first. Now I know.
And you don't make tweets about it saying like, this is the way to do it. I'm like, no, this is not the way to do it.
It's like if there was a debate, like, no, dude, the way you do it, you wipe before you poop. All right?
The way you brush your
Like,
teeth.
you can do it either way, but I'm telling you.
Type 1 in chat if you're a white first guy.
Are you an over or under with the toilet paper?
See, that's just
Yeah.
That is just debates. That is just all types of debates. But no, you want to know the most crazy counterpart about that whole cereal thing is? Someone said like you technically are a milk before cereal if you refill the cereal. I'm like, no, that doesn't count.
Why would you ever refill the cereal?
Yeah, no.
That's
No.
No,
I
like
saw my mom
refill
do
the
that,
bowl
yes.
when you
Oh,
refill
man.
the bowl when you pour more cereal into the bowl.
maybe I've never enjoyed cereal enough for my man. I could use a refill.
No, I
done that.
drink
I'm like,
the milk.
Hey, I've drank the milk before
out of
too, and then I just done it and I just filled the bowl up again. I'm like, nah, man.
Sure.
I don't know. People crazy out there, man.
it.
Just this is 2018. People think they can talk about whatever they want freely. No, that's not allowed. Only America. All right, we got any more questions before we wrap up? Because we got 4 minutes to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
I think there was another one. It was not like a super fun one, but kind of like a somewhat.
Crystal Genesis asked who brings oven mitts to GDQ.
Holden.
All
Yeah.
right.
Holden did.
Bone Mom
Man.
episode win.
So if you're looking for oven mitts when you go to your GDQ, do a baking side stream.
No,
They don't
that's
even microwaves or fridges, man. Why the hell would you need
that's Jackifer making soup on an iron. Remember? That's what you're
it?
looking for.
Hold up. What happened?
He had a can of soup,
yeah,
so he
Jack
turned on an iron in the hotel room and set the can of soup on it and heated up some soup.
We
heated
are
up some soup
pioneers
on
out here in
on
the
an iron.
speedrunner community.
Ooh.
You do what you
Steve,
gotta
if I
do.
got a story for you.
What?
So no, later. This is not.
That's a personal one.
All right, so
This
he's
one-
got a story
let me-
for me,
I-
but
let me just tell you now. It involves a bunch of like. I think we were all freshmen, and everyone just ended up getting super sick in a hotel room, and an iron was involved.
what?
That's how they all
Gonna leave it
start.
at that.
That's how they all start, and we'll find that out never because we are going to be ending this episode today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Spike, Vegeta. Thank you, Bonesaw, Prem. Thank you for everyone in the chat that has tuned in to this episode of Mind Games. Also, I see that I had a bunch of follows today, so let me fire out some shout outs to everybody that followed today. All right, so shout outs to Chasey D, Cerberus 144, Funk Fu, Cerberus 144. You followed me twice. How's that possible? But holy crap, you followed me like more than once. Bonesaw 577. Thank you for the follow. Patty, thank you for the follow. Oh, thank you for the host. You guys hosted me. You didn't follow me. But no, Cerberus followed me.
My bad. I didn't have
Cerberus followed me, then hosted me. That's why his notifications up. Stacked LP with the 1-tier subscriber. Thank you for the subscription. Gallon OPCP. Thank you for the follow. Sprinkled Hot Dog. Thank you for the follow. I think I just got another one and just Solid Scrump. Thank you for the follow. That is it for Mind Games. Once again, I'm D Disciple. Our guesses were Bonesaw, Patty, Spike Vegeta, and our co-host Asterion. Thank you all. Next week,
Yo.
though, who we going to be following, dog? What we doing next time?
Next week I have exams like mad.
So we got exams next week.
Following
so,
exams.
Following the exams, because I'm pretty sure most of you guys are in college, and you got to be doing those exams. So next week, we might actually do just like a cute little wrap-up and
Chill stream.
We're going to do a chill stream. This was pretty chill. And I'm going to be streaming later on, probably tonight, and we're going to talk about like further plans for Mind Game episodes and everything as well. But it has been a great pleasure to have all three of you guys on stream again. Thank you again for coming back, Patty, as well.
Blast.
It's good being here.
If you guys have
thanks for
anything you guys
having
want
us on,
to,
you guys.
if you guys want any shout outs right now, go ahead and fire them off right now.
Shout out
Shoutouts to Bone Mom.
I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys at an event one of these days.
Oh yeah, dude.
Bone
Hey, you
Mom,
gotta
you're
go
there
to a
too.
GDQ, a PAX, or something.
I mean, you guys are going to be in Minneapolis for GDQ, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in Northeast Minneapolis. I'm not going to be at the event, but if you guys have any free time, we can go. I can go take you to a nice wing spot or anything, depending on what you guys.
Yeah,
want.
I want to know more about the Minneapolis-St. Paul area for sure. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this D spot is
I might
outside of
even roll out for
Minneapolis.
some GDQ goodness.
But yeah, we can always like venture out and all that too, especially if I'm not working or something. But yeah, just let me know when you guys are in town.
Cool.
All right.
For sure.
All right. So this is a sign off,
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Laters.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye now.
Yeah,
Okay, that
Spike,
was
we
fun.
gotta talk more sports.